And that looks like we're live. Wow. Throat hurting a little bit there, but I'm actually on fire. So, really excited. I actually made this deck about a week ago and then decided I needed to finish another topic. But this is the one I've been excited about. This is the one I want to train with. Just want to make sure people can hear me. Actually, I mean, you know what? I'm going to check. I could always clip this thing later, but I'm going to make sure that you can actually hear me. Yep. Yep, you can hear me. All right, let me know on comments if you have questions. If not, I'm gonna rip through this big lesson. That's probably the biggest lesson. You know what reason? It's not the biggest because I don't want to say it is, but it's a big lesson, right? My biggest probably was not working too much, not working myself to death. But this lesson helped me with what you see on the picture on the right with the guy holding the boxes. It was a big deal. So if you're listening, stick around. Trust me, it'll help you out. It'll make sense. And it's not something you're gonna be able to implement today, but it's something you need to implement yesterday. So with that, I'm gonna keep going. Yes, most of what I'm going to be training on, it is going to be about hacking your CEO life. If you're not a CEO of your life, then you should be. But yes, a lot of hacks I learned over the years with delegation that's going to allow you to hack your life. It's software hacks, tools, smart AI, artificial intelligence. Been studying that heavily. Global partnerships, VAs all over the world to reduce overhead, and process optimization has been a big deal. I've been spending a lot of time really working on that, even though I mean I've done process since I was 18. So it's not a new thing. And a lot more stuff that I'm gonna be sharing with you. Yes, your CEO life could be vice free and beautiful because work is a vice, by the way. And so going back to what I wanted to talk to you about today, yeah, my business had me trapped. Not literally, but it almost felt like it was a trap, correct? I mean, I couldn't do much, but I was overwhelmed with the amount of responsibilities. It was too much for me to handle. This has happened. I think it happened twice in my business where I really felt that way. And one of those times was recently. And all the time and energy was spent keeping the business moving. There was no time for anything else other than the time spent keeping the business moving. And this is something that happens often. I'm not the only one that's been in this boat. A lot of business owners that had a little bit of a success feel this way sometimes. Yeah, there's no time left to think, no time left to strategize. That is dangerous. When you have no time left to think or strategize, all the time spent on keeping your business moving, that is dangerous. I felt trapped in my own box and did not see a way out. How do you see a way out if you have no time left to think or strategize or reorganize or optimize? You're stuck, right? And the profits or lack of were irrelevant. So I've been in this situation both with a lot of profits and with very little profits. It doesn't matter. It's still a trap either way. Right. So even if you think, oh, I'm making a lot of money, I can fix this. No, you can't. You're trapped inside. You have no time to think or strategize. So even if you have the money, you can't do it. I wanted out. Yes, I wanted out because it was no fun. Even the time that there was a lot of profit, it was no fun. And I did want to escape and run. And you know what? It was harder to run because there was profits. Because I felt like, oh my god, I can't leave. I'm making money, right? So the big lesson of years I learned years ago saved me. And yes, I learned this lesson in my 20s. Okay. I think I was 22 or 23 when I learned this lesson. And I've been reapplying it and perfecting it, becoming better at applying it and really making it real for me and for my business. So it is what saved me. It wasn't anything new. And it was thanks to a great mentor I have never met. Yes, I've never met with this mentor, but he's been a great mentor in my business life, and that mentor is Michael Gerber. If anyone's ever read this book, I have heavily recommended the E Myth Revisited. But I'm going to give you kind of the gist of it now, and hopefully it encourages you to get the audio book or the actual printed copy, like I did. And it talks about three personalities that you have in your business: your entrepreneur, which we all feel we are, your manager, and your technician. And your business is a box. That's the trap with three personalities, like I was saying. The first one is the technician. That's the workforce that's in the box, that's inside the box. So it could be the one building the widgets that you're selling, it could be the one selling the widgets, it could be anyone really in the box doing the work, depending on what you do. If it's online business, it's creating the content, it's creating the courses, it's selling the courses. If you're a traditional, more retail business, is who's manning the store, right? Who's in charge? Who's there working? And in the example of the book, who's making pies? because that's the example he uses. But building, selling, delivering the products or services. The next one's manager or president or COO. Well, that's funky. Or president or COO of operations. That's still in the box. So if someone tells you I'm president and or I'm COO operations, you are in the box, right? You're actually making sure that the technicians are doing what they're supposed to. You're still in the box. Or if you're doing the business of being in business, accounting, legal, HR, all that, that's sort of in this category. Yeah, they're not building the widgets, but they're still in the box, right? Somebody has to hire the technicians. Somebody has to make sure you're compliant. Somebody make sure that the accounting numbers make sense, right? You're still in the box. The last one is entrepreneur, CEO or strategy officer, in and out of the box. You're in the box when you have to be, and you get out of the box when you don't need to be, because the entrepreneur has a different set of roles that sometimes we ignore because we're so busy becoming managers or being technicians. You have to be either being designing or building or improving the box. Usually happens at the beginning of the business or when the business is being updated. You're identifying opportunities and eliminating or mitigating threats. Yes, there are other boxes out there that you may want to collaborate with. There are other boxes out there who want to put you out of business. So that's, if you're in the box, you cannot see these because you're so buried in work. You won't be able to identify opportunities and eliminate or mitigate threats. Yeah, Michael Gerber, E-Myth Revisited, if you want to buy it, or if you could probably find the Cliff Notes out there if you're not the reading type. But I do, if you really struggle with this, I would definitely read the book. The first part of it is the story that talks about these three positions and an analogy that they uses. And the second one will encourage you to really optimize your business so that it runs well enough to be franchised. But anyway, give you the 2 cents. But now I'm going to give you the big lesson. The big lesson is, that's weird. Okay. As a CEO, it is your duty to ensure your business is ran by systems that do not depend on you. Okay. I'm going to get the big lesson or lessons. As a CEO, it is your duty to ensure your business is ran by systems that do not depend on you. Yes, that's your responsibility. And as a CEO needs to have time freedom to think and lead. Another lesson, a CEO needs to have the time and freedom to think and lead. Because if you don't have that kind of time, your business is going to be out of business because someone else will probably put you out of business if you don't have time to think or lead. So, very important. But you know what? The first one allows you to have the time freedom to think and lead. Those are the third lesson. A CEO must avoid being trapped by the business at all costs. Like if you're going to be trapped by the business, you're better off going out of business than being trapped by it because you're free to start a better business. So those are the three. Those are really one big lesson, right? In three parts. So the three parts of the lesson. Again, I'm going to go through it again, okay? Because it's very important. The big lesson, three parts. The first one, as a CEO, it is your duty to ensure your business is ran by systems that do not depend on you. First one. Second part, a CEO needs to have the time freedom to think and lead, right? And that's possible if you follow the first one. And the third one, a CEO must avoid being trapped by the business at all costs. Those are the three parts of that big lesson that really recently saved me from my own business. And that's why I'm making a lot of changes and updates. And but some Renee CEO hacks or takeaways. Follow CEOs that share their hacks for smart AI, artificial intelligence. It's the future. That's now. Start working on global partnerships and BAs. That's going to be a big deal. It already is. It's going to be a bigger deal in the future. Start thinking about process optimization. And second point, reduce business overhead so you can afford to pay a manager, president, or COO. So if you're that CEO that's also the president and CEO, reduce your overhead so you can afford a manager or president or CEO, and so that you have that time freedom to think and lead. With some hacks, even a solopreneur can. Yes, even a solopreneur can do that. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and message me, and I'll tell you how. Do you? So perhaps you love operations, the box, right? And you want to be, um, you want to You want to be outside the box. I'm sorry, this is a typo. You love operations the box, and you don't want to be outside the box. You love making widgets so much, you don't want to be outside of it, right? You want to be in the box. You want to be in operations. What do? You find yourself a strategy officer or a shadow CEO that can do that part for you. They won't be making decisions for you, but they're going to be doing the part the CEO normally does, which is go out there, identify other opportunities, identify other threats, optimize the business, make sure that that you're surviving, all that kind of stuff that you would not be able to do if you stay inside the box. Find one. I've been one. And hint, yes, if you are watching this video, you know one, at least of one. Yes, you do. Put it together. So another that's my takeaways. Just a quick little announcement. I am building a brand new brand. Sounds funny, but yeah. And if you want to follow me or stay connected, you can go there. It's not there's nothing much there. I'm building it, so you're gonna see a brand transform. So if you want to go there, you can hit follow. You can hit favorites if you want. And I'll probably be making updates over the next few weeks. I'll share some of those here, and you're gonna see an influencer expert brand being built in front of your eyes. If you want to participate, go ahead and just do that. You'll see it just because you're the main. Most things will be shown on Facebook. I'll update websites. I'm getting a website redone as we speak. And I'm updating a brand. I'm getting some photos done. I'm being all the stuff that you see. If you want to know more about how I pulled it off for very little money, then let me know. And very little money and very little time, I should say. But that's it. Stay tuned for more Renee CEO lessons and hacks. I'll see you next week.